So, I don't really know where to start on my testimony besides the fact that you have to go to Medjugorje. That's it. You have to. Like, there is nothing else I can really say to persuade you. You just got to listen to what I'm saying. You have to go. And, trying to think what to say because I didn't write nothing down either. All right, so for starters, the plane sucks. I hated it. The plane was terrible. Everybody can agree with that, I'm pretty sure. Yes. But it's the thought behind it that it's a sacrifice to get there, and that you can't just walk there and be like, oh, hey, I'm here. Let me see something good. Like, you have to sacrifice something. And I took that into consideration once I got there, and then everything started to change in front of my eyes. We were there for about a day, I think, and then one of the greatest things that ever happened in my life happened. I was sitting at the table talking with Miss Denise, and I was asking her, I was like, hey, since we stay in Mariana's hotel, isn't it like something special? Like, aren't we special? Like, can't we go up close and be with her while she's having her apparition? And she looks at me and she's like, I don't know, why don't you ask her? And I was like, I'm not gonna ask her. Like, I kind of just blew it off. Well, Mariana, who is, halfway across the room, has supersonic hearing apparently. And she comes up to me and she's like, hey, you had something to ask me? And so I just look at Miss Denise and I was like, yeah. And Miss Denise is like, tell her. So I was like, all right. So I asked her the question and she just gives me an answer. I don't really remember word for word what it was. It was just something like she's in a different state of mind when she goes up there, that if she tells somebody, hey, you can come up there with me, she's not going to really, remember the next morning when it comes down to it. So, I just went back to eating my lunch, minding my own business, talking with Miss Denise still. And then our tour guide comes up and he goes, be here tomorrow morning at 6:30. Well, tomorrow morning was the day of the apparition. And I was like, what? And he's like, you asked Mariana a question. And I was like, yeah, I did. And he's like, be here tomorrow morning at 6:30. And like, I still speechless, obviously. Like, I don't even know what to say about it, don't know what I felt at the moment. But Miss Denise, on the other hand, had all the emotions. She was jumping up and down, screaming. And so, yeah, that's why Matthew was hoping he could join us. We were trying to get him to join us come up there with me, but it didn't work out too well. So I looked at Matthew and I was like, hey, we're going to stay up all night. We're going to pray the rosary over and over and over again. We're going to be ready for this. Until that night hit. And I'm laying in my bed praying the rosary. And Matthew can tell you this, if y'all don't believe me, every bead I pressed instead of prayer, I'd fall asleep and wake back up right after. I'd hit. Yeah. And I was sitting there and Matthew's like, dude, you keep going to sleep. Like, I swear, one time I fell asleep, I woke up, and Matthew was out the room. I finished praying that one prayer. I fell asleep again. I woke up, he's back in his bed. I'm like, what's going on? Like, I was so confused. But I finished that rosary in an hour. But I just kept saying over and over, I was like, I'm gonna finish it. And then I went to sleep. I woke up the next morning. I was downstairs at 6:30 a.m. But I think I didn't prepare myself enough for what was about to happen, because when it happened, it was amazing. But I feel like I could have gotten more out of it. But basically, I walk up there, and I'm walking, and if y'all ever seen the videos or whatever, they got about, I don't know what, like 30,000 people flooding the streets, like 60,000, whatever. And then So we're walking up, and they got these barricades because Mariana's like famous. She's like a celebrity up there. So like, well, I got to walk through the barricades, so I feel like a celebrity. Then we get up there, and the woman looks at me. Well, Mickey, our tour guide, had walked us up there, and he was like, "All right, this is the only English-speaking person up here. She's gonna take care of you, get you whatever you need. If you have any questions, ask her, whatever." So I walked up to her, met her, whatever. And first thing she asked me was, she's like, "Do you want to sit or kneel?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she's like, I said, "I think I like kind of both. Like, I hope I don't have to kneel the whole time or sit the whole time." And she's like, "Well, if you sit, you go over there." And it was probably from me to that door away. And Mariana kneels like right there. She goes, "If you kneel, you go right here." And so I looked and I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna kneel." So I pull out my phone, I checked the time, and I was like, "That's 2 hours we're talking about." And I was like, "Whatever, it's cool." So I start to kneel and I start to pray, and they're praying the rosary, they're singing songs, whatever. And I started praying, and I was like, "Mary, like, what the heck is going on? Like, these people speaking Italian, Croatian, I don't even know. It's like, if you could, like, help me not look like a fool." And they got cameras on me, because, like, I was part of the group that, that stays with Mariana, so the people who film it were filming me too. And the whole time, I'm sitting there looking at the cameras like, I don't know what to do. And so I said a prayer. I was like, "Hey, like, can you help me out here, Mary? Like, this is crazy. Like, I don't know what's going on." Literally 2 seconds after I said that prayer, and I'm not kidding y'all, the woman sitting right next to me on a bench, she was singing the whole time. The decade of the rosary they were on had ended. I couldn't tell because it was another language. But she starts yelling. She's like, "English, English." And I was like, I looked at her and I was kind of confused for a second. Well, she took the microphone from the people and started saying a decade of the rosary in English.
Oh, wow.
So then I really felt at home. Then I felt like, all right, I'm supposed to be here. This is what's supposed to happen. Everything's going as planned. And then, so about an hour and a half went by. Mariana starts walking up there. Everybody starts going crazy. I'm still kneeling. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. So this woman that our tour guide had left me with, came to me about 30 minutes in, and she's like, "Here." And I look at what she had. She had a kneeler, like a pad for me, and I was like, "Oh, y'all don't even understand how grateful I was of that pad." So I grabbed the pad and I take it out the wrapper and I put it down, and by the way, this is solid rock I was kneeling on. Like, not straight flat rock, like uneven solid rock. And all the people who went knows what I'm talking about. So that kneeler really saved me. Anyway, so then Mariana comes up and she goes and she kneels down, and I was surrounded by priests and monks. There was not one civilian in the circle I was in. Not that y'all aren't civilians, but I'm just saying. So I still felt kind of out of place, but she kneels down and she starts doing her thing, and I start watching her, and I'm like, this is rough for her. Like, she actually struggles doing this. That's when it hit me. I was like, this ain't no joke. Like, not that I thought it was a joke or thought it was a front or anything, but whenever I seen what she goes through, it set in that, like, Mary actually comes to her. Because if she didn't, I don't know why she's still doing it. Like, no amount of fame or fortune, she doesn't even get fortune from, I don't know why I said fortune, but no amount of fame that she gets is not worth, like, her struggling up there every month for, like, however long she's been doing it. So then she starts, suffering and getting ready to meet Mary, and I was just sitting there, like, lollygagging around, not even paying attention to her. And all of a sudden, I felt like this strong blow of wind, and everybody's, like, silent. And, like, the wind hit me, and I felt I was about to fall. And I look up, and I look over, because, like I said, I was looking over here, like, just exploring the world, and all of a sudden it was like boom. And so I look over. The first thing I do is look at Mariana. I look at her and she's sitting there. She's in her little stance with her hands together looking up. And I was like, that's what that was. I was like, that was Mary right there in front of me that I just felt. And so her apparition, I don't know how long it lasted, but basically the whole time I was just sitting there holding up my rosaries, my petitions, everything, giving them to Mary, praying as hard as I could, and watching Mariana, because it was just amazing seeing her, how peaceful she was after watching her suffer for 20 minutes. So that's really it. Like, I wouldn't say I got anything personal out of it, but it definitely was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it was amazing. Like, I can't stress that to y'all enough. It was absolutely amazing. There was one thing actually two things I was going there for. I know a few people out here, y'all know, or y'all, and I see one that knows them. My friend Cameron Chauvin had enlisted with the Marines. And the whole time he was getting ready to leave, he was like, I'm gonna party, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, just get ready to go. Well, when I went to Medjugorje, it was the same week that he left. And I was sitting there the whole time and I was like, what is my, not main petition, all of them were equal powerful for me, but what is the one thing that I want to get out of this trip? And I was like, I want my friend Cameron to find God. Well, about a week ago, I'm gonna cry, I already know. About a week ago, I got a letter from him in the mail saying that he was going to church every time, reading the Bible every free minute he got, and I just lost it. Cool. Yeah, now that I got that out, I'm good. But then, and there was the second, like I said, there was two. The second one was for my sister, had been struggling in her faith life. She's Catholic, but she's, struggling like a lot of us do. And the struggle period is extended, and I was finally like, I have enough of this. Like, she needs to get back into church. So, had a petition for her. Didn't even leave Medjugorje for this one to happen. I get back to the hotel after the apparition, and I check my phone, and I'm on Facebook. Why? I don't know. I haven't been on Facebook in months. And I'm seeing all the stuff about, the apparition and everything. And my mom had shared something. And I see my sister had commented on it. My sister had reshared it. Somebody commented and was like, this is awesome. And my sister replies, yeah, you can come with us when I go in 2 years. And I was like, oh. I was like, first thing I do is call her. I'm like, hey, are you planning on going to Medjugorje? Yeah. I was like, all right, cool. I'm coming with you. But yeah, so that was amazing for me. But yeah, stuff definitely does. Powerful things definitely do happen over there. And like I said, the main one for me didn't happen until I came home, but it happened while I was there. Anybody knows anything about the mail? It takes about a week to a letter to come in. So, yeah. But that's really it for me. The rest of the week was just a breeze. It was hanging out with my roommate Matthew, just getting along, and that was really it. We climbed Cross Mountain a few times. That was beautiful. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I gotta say about the trip.